Hey, my name is Kyle Rush, and you are watching the No Counts Given podcast. Dance Team Union regional competitions are unlike any other. DTU has created an atmosphere that is not only friendly and competitive, but brings your community together to support one another in a sport you all share and love. DTU values innovation and the determination to create. Your team spend hours perfecting material and pushing the boundaries for choreography. It does not go unnoticed at Dance Team Union. At DTU, you do not go home empty-handed. They award placements in every division for every routine, select special awards to standout routines, and offer partial paid bids to our Dance Team Union National Championships and All-Star Worlds with their partners at the Open Championship Series. So what are you waiting for? Find out when they will be heading to a city near you for their 10th season by visiting www.danceteamunion.com. Welcome back to the No Counts Given podcast, the premier podcast for all things dance. I'm your host, Kyle Rush. I'm here every single Thursday. We drop every single Thursday, new episodes. So if you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, like this video. If you're on Spotify, give us a follow. We upload every single Thursday, and there are a lot of exciting new things coming to No Counts Given. So make sure you are subscribed. Are you subscribed yet? I'm giving you 5 seconds. Hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on what we got. Okay, listen, today's interview, Danyel. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, you put two unfiltered people in a room together to talk about their passions. It gets a little crazy. And I'm telling you now, buckle up for this episode because it's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the episode. Actually, before we get into the episode, are you registered for the rankings yet? You need to register for the rankings. Okay, I'm putting it out there. You need to register for the rankings. This is a huge event that Dance Team Union is bringing, and you need to register. Okay? All right, here we go. On to the interview. Welcome to No Counts Given.
Thank you for having me.
It has been some time coming.
Yes.
Just back history. We have been working on this interview for like probably a month and a half. And
weeks now.
it is here.
It's here.
I'm excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Hip Hop International Dance League, Vibe Dance Competition, UDA, USASF, Bridge, Prelude. You have touched a lot of stages.
Yes.
A lot of stages. And we're going to get into all of them. But I want to start with first. It's going to be a deep one.
Here we go.
What was Danyel like as a child?
She was a gymnast, so she was very competitive. She was very, she wasn't as like outward as I am now. Just because when you were in gymnastics, like you weren't allowed to talk. The gym that I went to, and I also trained with 2 Olympians. So Kyla Ross, Michaela Moroney were like my childhood friends. So seeing them go to the Olympics in this time is like, whoa. But at that time, like you were punished for talking. Like even if you were chalking up, waiting in line, I would get yelled at for talking. Speaking became something that was very like, oh, I don't do that. So I just do my job, do whatever, go home, come back. And I think maybe that's why I'm so vocal now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to use my voice because
As you should.
like, and that's how it was. But as a child, like it was very much one goal, go to the Olympics. And that didn't end up happening. And then I found dance.
Yeah. Did you grow up in LA? Or
yes.
so?
SoCal.
Okay.
Yeah. Costa Mesa.
Oh, yeah.
That OC.
Yeah. When did you transition to dance?
In, high school.
Okay.
So right before, like in middle school, I was homeschooled for gymnastics. So after middle school, quit gymnastics. And my mom was like, we got to find something for you to do. And I was always recreating Michael Jackson videos, like in the living room. So You Think You Can Dance, season 1. If you, Rama Lama Bang Bang.
Let's go.
Come on. So like that's where I was at unknowingly. And then there was an art school audition that was coming up in like a couple weeks that my mom saw, I think in the paper. And then she was like, do you want to go for it? And I was like, sure. And the Sergstrom Theater where Vibe is held is where we watched one of their like end of the year performances to see if I like wanted to do that. And I was like blown away. I was like, I want to be up there. I want to do what they're doing. So she enrolled me in beginner tap, ballet. As I had no...
In high school?
This was before. Basically.
Okay.
So this was like the summer before freshman year.
Got it, okay.
And then I just took these classes, finessed my way through that audition. I should not have made it into Orange County High School of the Arts that year. I
Wow.
really should not have. But I flipped. I was one of the only Black girls in that room, which I think is what got me in the school, which I'm beyond grateful. I was at the lowest tier of my class every single year because I didn't understand. I didn't grow up in a studio.
Yeah.
I barely understood the jazz shoe of it all. The way you turn in gymnastics is very different from the way you turn in dance. So I was just figuring it out all through high school. And that's kind of where that journey first started, finding dance. And then junior year is where I found hip hop, which was
Yeah. Okay, so you just mentioned something very interesting. You said you were more so quiet when you were younger. You didn't really have your voice.
I didn't really do it.
And if you follow Danyel, you know that not only is she very passionate about that performance
Okay.
and her choreography, but you stand for what you believe in.
Yes.
Did you have anyone when you were younger that kind of had that activism side around them, or is that something that you just found?
No. And I think that's something, and I'm sure it was all around me in
Yeah.
certain different ways,
Yeah.
and maybe I wasn't old enough to catch it, but there was never an emphasis on that, whether it be in the spaces I was in or at home.
Mm.
So it really was 2020 that woke me up to that, not just witnessing it around me, but it actually fully happening to me. Like I remember 2020, I was followed by a police car. I remember I was in a neighborhood like eating pizza in between two dance sessions, and this was in LA. And then somebody was walking their dog, started recording me, being like, I called the cops, you're not supposed to be here. And this was all around that time. And I remember being like, this is something that is bigger than dance that might end dance for me. Like I might not, like me focusing on my career is very bold considering who I am, what I look like, and how society views me. And I need to get hip to figuring that out. Not just for me, but I'm also an educator. I'm also a teacher. I also see younger kids that look like me that I'm like, if I had this knowledge or at least moved with that awareness, maybe it could have saved me from this. So in that position that I really do not take lightly, I am educated so they can be educated. And it's not me giving them all the tools and being like, okay, you're ready. It's like, hey, I'm learning too. This is how I'm learning. I'm a big, that's why using your voice doesn't come without error. You can never be perfect in that, but I'm okay being corrected. I would rather voice something and somebody be like, yo, I don't know if you knew about this, but please educate me. And then let me also use my platform to correct myself. I think both are important.
Yeah.
To voice it, be corrected, voice that you were corrected, and you're still on that mission to keep going. And I think that's why you either love me or you don't. You're either like, oh yeah, or you're like, mm-mm. But that's okay with me because the people that are aligned to be with me in that journey make themselves known.
Yeah.
And if witnessing me go through this learning process, maybe if it's just through my Instagram stories, can help you be like, hey, maybe I need to research a little bit, or maybe I want to get more research so I don't catch or I don't get caught in a moment like they did because they were uneducated.
Yep.
I don't have to wait until that moment. And if that's what my platform is, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. With all the stages that you've touched, and I mean, not even just stages you've touched, you teach all around the world.
Yes.
Have there been any turning points of realization knowing that you might not be able to show up as your full self?
Yes. I mean, first and foremost, HI comes to mind because I remember.
This is 2019?
This is 20.
Oh, we're going back.
We're going back.
Okay.
We're going back. This is 2015.
Okay.
It was one of the first years that I brought LFG to compete.
Got it. Okay.
So it wasn't like I was introduced to HHI in like 2012, 2013. I remember first going, and it was under other directors. And now this was like my first year bringing LFG. I was like, you know what? Let me do it. Like I want to try. And I think this was my first year of college. And I remember getting feedback both from one of the judges at the time and multiple other people that made it to finals. And they told me, we understand why you didn't make it to finals, but you should try adding guys into your set and then you're going to move further because all female sets are too weak and they can't give what it needs to give to be on the world stage. And I kind of heard that. And at first I was like, okay, like what guys do I know? Who can I incorporate? And then there was a point of realization where I was like, I think this is what you need to do. I think you were told that for a reason. And I think that you are feeling the way that you're feeling for a reason. And that realization went from panic to anger. Like I got mad. That someone would even tell me that, 2, that that's actually a thing, and 3, that that holds weight in a community where I'm supposed to be not just, I'm not a guest. This is my community. So I felt like if it's anybody, then it might as well be me to try and push that. And that's why that journey with HHI had been so important to me, because it was way more than just making it to finals.
Yeah.
It was also proving that you can make it to finals with this obstacle, and I put that in quotation marks for a reason, but this obstacle I had, and then we ended up doing that in 2019, and then we became the first all-female team to represent Team USA in the adult division, which again was like crazy to me at the time. And I remember my speech on stage. I remember looking out and being like, last year I was sitting right there. I was sitting right there, and I was looking, and I was like, I'm gonna be on that stage one day. And I remember being like, it was so vivid that I was talking to my previous self. I was talking to that Danyel that was like, maybe I just quit this year. And that was the year before 2019. I was like, I tried this so many times. I think it's done. And then 2019 was the year everything clicked. And like, Fantaye is someone who has been a huge part of Vimo's journey, my journey, and somebody who has seen me through all the circles of that time. She was finally in that cast versus watching some years or just contributing choreography. So the synergy between me and her and the rest of the members that year, I think, is the reason why. It wasn't necessarily like a jump in choreo or like it was the community that we built and the training process. I knew, I was like, there's no way. We have to make it in some way because of how we trained, which then brings me to where we're at now. And I don't participate in HHI any longer, and that's just because their stance on Palestine. And we've talked about that. I was courteous about that. I was supposed to teach one of like the judges' workshops, which was a bucket list goal for me. Like that was like my dream. Even up until 2019, I was like, I'm gonna teach one of those workshops. Like I want to do that. And then 2020, all of that happens. They gave the opportunity, and I was like, wait, absolutely. And I just had to double check and make sure, like, hey, I speak about these things a lot. If that's going to be a problem, like that's something I would want to know. They asked me to not speak about it. I said, hey, I can't align with that. And then we kind of parted ways. And just because of, they do now allow Israel to compete in these same finals and championships. They made it to world finals in one of the divisions. So that's not something that I'm currently comfortable with, given the state of where this genocide is at. Like, hate to bring it there, but it is there, and it is looming over almost everything that we do. So I'm not going to do something if I can't stand 10 toes behind it. That doesn't mean that I give any hate to the organization, and I can't sit here and and that's fine. And I can't sit here and act like HHI isn't one of the hugest propellers of my career. And I can sit here and say that and give thanks and say that I'm not going to be a part of any future events at this moment, and that's okay.
Have they ever asked you to like come back?
They've been, I've seen them in person. Like we used to do like events where they would come, and I would see myself on the banner from when we win, and they still use those banners, and I'm okay with that. But they'd be like, oh, when are you coming back? And I'm like, I don't think anytime soon. But I do crave the same
Energy.
competitive push that HHI gave me.
Let's keep going down the LFG road.
Yes.
What does LFG stand for? I feel like I know. I feel like I have an idea where it comes from.
You know
okay.
where it stands.
Okay.
I think you know what it stands for, and it absolutely does stand for that. Let's say the PG version is let's freaking.
Thank you. I had a feeling.
It absolutely is that.
How did you come up with that?
It's something that like I found that when I was like in the collegiate scene and I was on other teams, I would be the person that's cheering all the time. I would be the person on the side that's like,
listen, if you ever watch a routine finish and Danielle's on that stage, you're not talking, you're screaming.
You will be able to hear me in the front row camera. Trust and believe. Every single Vimo set, you will hear my voice. Public period. So that's me always. Like when I'm in rehearsals in other spaces, obviously with respect to how the space wants to be run, but I'm always the one that's giving love in that way. And I just found that like he's like the most me. It's how I give the most love. And that's also, it can be transmuted in so many different ways. It's like I'm gonna say let's freaking go, okay? But if let's freaking go is like we're almost at the end of the set, like, let's freaking go. You're saying it outwardly so everybody can hear you. And there's something as intimate as you can be in the wings. It's like, hey, let's freaking go. And then you go. I just love the different tones and ways you can use it, and it fits for a competitive hip hop set in a way that I feel like it just makes sense.
Not only just a competitive hip hop set, but if you watch LFG perform, it fits.
Yes.
It's to the
LFG.
T. Yeah.
It's LFG. Like,
yeah.
you feel that.
Yeah.
And it could be like a joyful, like, let's freaking go. Or it could be like, let's freaking go.
Yeah.
It could be and I feel like I'm able to transmute the energy of that in different ways. And I love it because to some people that is explicit. To some people that's too much. But for the right people, they get it and they understand that. And I've had to find that through the years. I didn't know that when I decided to name it that. But throughout the years, I don't think I could have picked a better name for
It's amazing.
an all-female team that I'm.
And it just sticks to the head.
Yeah.
I mean,
It gets a little
you will not
like-
forget it. You will not forget it. After, okay, so 2019, correct me if I'm wrong, bronze.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you guys won bronze at Hip Hop International World Championships 2019. You guys took a long hiatus.
Long.
What happened? Was
COVID.
it
COVID
like,
happened.
really?
The pandemic happened, and I mean, not even to get into it too much, but there were relationships on that team that fizzled out during 2020 because of things that I can't change. Like, I am a firm believer that if you are not willing to stick up for Black people during that time, that you shouldn't get to enjoy the art that comes from the struggle that we went through during that time. I was no longer comfortable with some of those people that did get a medal on that stage also being on stage with me after the pandemic. I just didn't feel comfortable.
It ruins team culture. If you want that LFG energy, you're not gonna get it in that team culture.
No, not at all. And that was the same thing with Vimo. It wasn't just LFG. It was my whole company or collective. I had to disband Vimo completely to the point where I didn't even think it was coming back. So to be completely honest, I thought I was done. I thought it was all done.
Vimo's been back for 2-3 years now. 2023 was that the first year you guys came back?
I think 2022 we did like an exhibition performance at like the end of the year.
Got it. Yeah.
2023.
And you guys have been just going straight on with it with Vimo.
Yes.
I love that. And we're gonna get into more Vimo. You already know. But now you guys just went and competed at the World Dance Crew Championships. Oh, it's right there. You're wearing it. In New Zealand.
Yes.
How'd you guys do? How was the overall experience?
I don't know. Third, we can't.
Amazing.
We can't fight that, bro. It's an LFG thing. We'll find it.
It'll keep the fire underneath you. It'll keep you lit for sure.
But again, that kind of gave me the same rush that HHI used to give me that I kind of wanted. I love the ability to show your work ethic during the competition. So that's why I like competitions that are 2 rounds, 3 rounds, because you can see like, whoa, I did not see that during prelims, and I can see that they want this so bad. Like, they are willing to fight and tweak and change. And something different about WWDC was you got judges' feedback in between rounds. After prelims, we like logged on to the website and there was the score sheet and then feedback from the judges that were like, we would want to see this change. We love this. Where is this? So then we got to be like, okay, based off of this, let's do this. And that's something that I was really proud of for LFG this year. And again, that is a testament to that community building that kind of started in 2019, that group of ladies, like, we could have gone through anything and we were willing to go through anything. And the process, even at the Airbnb, to be like, are you okay with going to sleep right now? And some of them would be like, no, I need to rest. And then I could come back with a clearer head. It's like, okay, beautiful. And there were some nights it was like, no, I couldn't even dream of resting right now. I want to watch the footage and like that Airbnb little dining room saw the best and the worst of us. Like, they saw the most innovative things that some things that I would have never thought we could have created, especially on my own. So that group collaboration of like, how about this? How about this? Okay, you try this. Okay, you try this. Can you record it? Okay, can you look at it from the back? Can you look at it from and all 9 of us were just a machine working. And there was sometimes where 20 minutes of silence. And it was like, I didn't like that. Or like, I really like that idea and everybody said no and now I feel a type of way and I don't want to contribute. And that's fine. We navigated through that. And even for me as a director, I had a lot of different triggers that came up. There was like a camera crew that was there as well. There was a lot with a previous documentary that was done during Vibe 2023 or 2024, the red set year. which was a not negative, but it ended on a bad note because we didn't place. The cameras were in my face. I told them to not film. They continued to film.
Yeah.
So that was like a boundary that was kind of like crossed.
Yeah.
That then again was crossed this time around.
Mm.
Because when we went to go get our judges' feedback for the second round, I said, I don't want to be mic'd up. This is a private moment that I want just with me and the judges and my captain that was with me that I wanted to come. And we were obviously devastated because we got third again after changing the set so completely. So I wanted that time to just kind of grieve with my team and do that. And they wouldn't let me take the mic off. So they followed me into the judges' room, followed me all the way out. So even when after we heard the result, we came back, I couldn't even really be with my team because I was like, I'm mic'd up. And they had to be like, okay, like, and they were trying to like take care of me in that way.
Was this done with World Dance Crew Competition? They do like the documentary
Well,
and everything?
I think this time around, like there was a New Zealand documentary crew that was documenting everything.
Got it.
And then we did the, like, do you have consent to be filmed?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, absolutely. Like whenever.
But you don't realize they're going to take it to that extent.
It was like, I thought it was like you in between stuff.
Yeah.
Even to the point where we would be rehearsing and they would go like this mid-run. Like my dancers would step on them during full outs, like stuff like that, where I was like,
Seems a bit.
there was definitely different energy, and it wasn't necessarily towards us, but it was definitely towards like Royal Family and ID Co. And it was something that they were trying.
Was Royal Family there?
So they were trying to do it around that, and we kind of were like the U.S. team that came to. And I had to get to a point for finals, our final round. I said no cameras.
Yeah.
Like I had to be there. And I don't know if they're gonna put that in the documentary, but there was a point where we were going backstage and I said, this is our last performance. Don't follow us.
Yeah.
Like I want this moment just with me and my girls.
Dance Team Union is a proud sponsor of the No Counts Given podcast, and we have some exciting news to share. DTU will be launching their annual college Instagram flight contest powered by Spirit Airlines to provide an opportunity to earn funding towards your nationals travel. DTU's motto, "We're here for you," continues to drive their commitment to supporting teams. Even if you're unsure whether you will attend the College Classic National Championships in 2026, we still encourage you to participate in the DTU flight contest. And in celebration of 10 seasons of Dance Team Union, they will award unique entries with special prizes throughout the contest, ranging in value from $200 to $1,000. To learn more about how to participate and earn funding towards your team, head over to www.thecollegeclassic.com for more information.
Please respect that. So that was a whole thing that happened during that was on top of the competition. That was like, whoa, this is a lot. Not necessarily a negative thing, just something you have to navigate, which was then similar. But to go back to it, then the process of getting to upgrade every time and have the audience see that. The audience received us very well. We had really great feedback, and I felt pushed in a way. There was the two other teams that were on the podium was Crew 24 from New Zealand and oh my God, Folk Jumpers from the Philippines. I was about to say Philippine All-Stars. I was like, not me going to 2010, but those two teams didn't just push us competitively, but we were also kind to each other.
Yeah.
And we would backstage be like, hey, kill it.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Community energy.
Go into the wing or go into the stands to watch each other if we were at different parts of the lineup. And we didn't even know each other like that. But we watched each other set, and there was a mutual respect for the creativity we were bringing that bonded us without having to meet, which like I have goosebumps right now because like I want to go back. I love being in that competitive.
Do you plan to go back?
I mean, if it aligns to where I'm still actively putting LFG together in that way, I'd want to redeem something just because I want first.
Yeah.
So that's also the HHI of it all, which is like, I'm not going to rest till I get first.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to rest till I get to that point. So this was the first year of it. So I'm sure there's more to go, and depends on if it continues and goes that way.
What's next for LFG?
It's definitely tough because my job as a director or my job as a teacher is to prep them to fly elsewhere.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So my job, especially for VMO specifically, LG might be different because those are a more like curated group of groups where I'm like, we could make this a thing.
Yeah.
for Vimo, and all of them are on Vimo as well. My job is to give you the tools so that you can go audition to do your dream job. I can go, because I'm not at the point where I can give you the paid opportunities that you deserve. I can't necessarily give you the Coachella, the stages that you or even I deserve. So my job is to, as I'm training for those stages, I'm training you too.
Yeah.
So a lot of the LFG members that went to New Zealand are, one of them's on a cruise ship right now.
Period.
One of them's about to do Cirque du Soleil. Like, they're branching off into their own spaces. So as the director of LFG, I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
But as their director and someone that cares for them deeply and looking at their journey, I'm like, it's time for
Yeah.
you guys to do what you need to do. And I think LFG always circles into, you know, the ladies that are aligned with me. So I'm sure that if I was like, no, I'm gonna bring LFG, and I kind of send the call out to be like,
Yeah.
who would want to do
Oh,
that?
you would get.
I'm sure I could find it.
So it will be sold out.
And here's hoping. But I think that the girls from New Zealand, there are a couple of them that I'm like really working with closely
Yeah.
now. One of them, her name is Kat Tyler. She's assisting me in a lot of my classes now. I'm kind of getting used to that. So I want to be able to show her, like, this is what it's like to teach in classes with this size.
Yeah.
This is what it's like to teach in classes when you only have 10 people, but you're still trying to give that same learning. What does it mean for you to be an assistant where you didn't make the choreo? You have to be just as knowledgeable. And what happens if students ask you questions,
Yep.
stuff like that.
Gotta be able to answer.
Understanding how I can get LFG to the point where they can also fly with the jobs they want to do.
Yeah.
So there's a focus to hone in on those girls and maybe have different types of opportunities. But I don't doubt if the right opportunity comes up, if I'm like, we need to assemble, that we will assemble. Like, I think we can do it.
LFG
Yeah, exactly.
assemble.
LFG assemble, like,
I love
will
that's
happen.
fun. Okay, so let's go into Vimo. I love Vimo. I love Vimo. Anytime I see, and watching at IDL, it was incredible. Same question. What does Vimo stand for? Where did this come from?
Vimo actually does not stand for anything. It's not an acronym for anything. Here's the backstory.
Okay.
It's not going to make sense. It's not inspirational. It's so crazy. HHI one of the years, one of my best friends at the time, her name is Taylor Stahl. Shout out to you, Taylor, because this started like this started what I could never even imagine. Went to HHI, and HHI is such a tiring experience. So like you get to a point where everyone's just like,
It's like
oh,
6 days long.
yeah,
Is it
so
not?
it's just like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like, oh, can I get a drink? And I was so tired. I was like, you know what? Just Venmo it to me. Like at this point, like I'm Venmo it to me. And then it became like an ongoing joke between me and her. And it was like, oh, that first place medal, like Venmo it to me. Like that became like the thing of the trip. And then we had the opportunity. We were like, should we do Maxed Out? And because they were doing this like upcoming choreographer, the crew division, it wasn't the choreo division, it was like, or the core division. Crew division was already established teams. Core division is like, if you're an upcoming choreographer, you want a place to showcase your choreo. And we're like, we should do it. And then we were like, what do we call it? And then we were both like, the Venmo Project. So if you search up the Venmo Project, you'll see all of that. That's like where Vimo started.
Okay.
In the parking lot.
I'm entering in
UCLA.
clips.
You
Entering clips.
pulling clips.
Funny.
But the Venmo Project is where it started. And then Taylor was like, I don't really want to take dance there. So I'm going to kind of bow out. I was like,
Yeah.
are you okay if I take it? Because I am trying to take it there. And she was like, go for it. Gave me the blessing.
Amazing.
I kind of took it and continued it during UCLA. And then I was on ACA at the time. And I remember going for a leadership role, and they're like, you're not kind of cut out for that. You're not ready for that. They kind of told me like my personality was too out there to be taken seriously. And I was like, okay, bet. And then I was like, well, I have a project team, and I feel like I deserve to see my work in a competitive sense.
Absolutely.
And also for those that run an exhibition team or a project, it's very hard to get people to care as much as a competitive team.
Yep.
So that kind of falls by the wayside. So I would have things, and I'm like, I deserve to have people come on time. I deserve people to remember the choreography when I teach it, stuff like that. So I felt like making it competitive was the next step. And then I thought about it, and I was like, if this team kind of goes where I want it to, I don't want to deal with copyright from Venmo. Like, I don't want to deal with
Yeah.
So I was like, let me just take the E
A
and the
cease and
N.
desist from Venmo would be terrifying.
So like take the E and the N out, and it's Vimo.
That's so funny. I love it, but it's so personal. It's amazing that it could have this story versus just this is the name we picked.
Nope.
It just came. ChatGPT gave it to me.
No, I said, this is the event that had happened. It was an inside joke. It turned into a real thing, which then turned into
Yeah.
a realer thing. And the gag is I'm literally blocked from Venmo because in college, somebody sent me a scam and then it like registered my number and then they blocked it. So like to this day, I cannot use Venmo. I have to use like a different.
That is so funny.
The
Wow.
Venmo project is where it all started.
Amazing. 2017, you guys started.
Yeah.
And you guys have hit so many stages.
Yes.
Of course, most notably being International Dance League.
Yes.
I got to watch live. You guys took the
Yes.
community division,
Yes.
which incredible performance. I love that you guys brought out Jalen. That was like
I'm honored.
you served everything that we needed. And then Jalen, we
Fuller,
love
one of
him.
my favorite choreographers. I loved him from him in the Bay, and we would always like exchange, or I used to see his classes, and now he's moved here.
Yeah.
We're so grateful. Again, even thinking about IDL, and even to go into the backstory of it, being in the community division versus the pro league. So being in the community division, I was like, I feel like I have something to prove here. I
Yeah.
feel like I got to talk a little bit.
I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't agree with you anymore. And I think anyone who, okay, I'm going to be real. Anyone who, and my audience is very dance team. So I'm going to educate for a second. But
Wonderful.
California, if you think about, I'm going to say community teams, because even GRV, I would consider them community
Absolutely.
team. I think of three names. I think of Chapkiss, I think of GRV, I think of Vimo.
I could cry.
Yeah. Well, because let's be honest, you guys go to competitions and you're consistently placing one of the top. And I give credit where credit is due, okay? But I wanted to ask, because you posted that this was personal when you guys took that division. What was personal about it?
Let's dive in.
Let's go. We got time. We got time.
So there was the community division during the pro league division of it all, and there's one sector of that, and that's less of the personal side than the other part I'll get into. But to address the even community division and pro league division, I remember Vimo got invited to do this competition.
Were they originally inviting you to be in community?
They were inviting it, but when I first thought about it, I was like, oh my God, pro league.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when they told me it was community division, I was like, okay, makes sense because we don't have a studio. We're maybe not as branded as these teams. So I said, okay, fair, but I want to make a performance that is so undeniable that the people that watch it are like, wrong decision. And that was the goal. And when I think of that, I think of Step Up. I think of those movies that make you feel like the underdog.
Yes.
Like I want people.
We love an underdog story.
And I always think of like when Step Up brings in like a special guest.
Yeah.
That was Jalen.
Oh,
that was
amazing.
Jalen. Like that was the concept. And even to using Take Your Shirt Off by T-Pain, it really just gave that like, I'm going to serve you dance, I'm going to serve you entertainment, and I'm going to let y'all have your meetings on the side because that's all I can do. And something that I've always said is, I'm going to put it in the art.
Yeah.
Instead of doing this, I do a lot of this, but I could do more of this.
It shows in your art.
I'm going to put it in the art. And the second part of that, and the reason why this was so personal, and I already know people are going to clip it. I already know people are going to be about it. I'm not even going to say names. If the shoe fits, then wear it. But the reason why this specific one was so personal is there was a good amount of people who used to be on board for Vimo that were now competing against me. And there's been a lot of things that I haven't spoken about over the past year that have been going on behind the scenes with them talking badly about me, trying to like slander me to people that have learned under me into spaces that I'd want to put myself in that they're trying to do something with. And these same people who I trusted with my whole journey, same people that were there in 2019, same people that got medals with me in 2019, people that have understood my integrity, that know me as a person, that know my journey, that have seen Vimo from the ground up and could still fix their mouth to say these things about me just because of a choreo disagreement that I had with them at a previous competition. And again, like I am very, not protective, but I am very passionate about my art. And something that I want to touch on that I haven't been able to touch on because I haven't talked about this is when you not create, but you are known for a certain style, or you bring things into the sphere of a certain community, a certain state, it's not like that is yours. But when people learn that from you and present it as their own, then we have an issue. And to peel back a layer of that, as a Black woman, this happens to me constantly. So when it is done by people who know that situation and know why, I find that as a problem. And when you are masquerading under me being your friend, so people think that I choreographed that, but you just did it, doesn't sit right with me. I don't care about the placing. You could have won. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's the essence of you being okay, taking from me in that way, presenting it as your own, profiting off of that, and now turning back and disrespecting me in private. Some of these people still have Vimo in their bio. So you can profit off of that.
I don't know Vimo down to a T, but once these cameras cut,
Right.
I feel like I have an idea. But I love that you're bringing this up, though, because if anybody watches your choreography on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you see it, you will know it's yours, even if it's not on your body. I can watch someone else do it, and I'm like, I know this is Danielle's choreography.
Absolutely.
If my back has to break at least one time in that choreography piece, I know it's a Moulton choreo. I love that. So I do find it surprising that someone could try and do something, say it's under your name, and profit off of it, because I feel like your style would be hard to mimic.
But that's why it happens, unfortunately, all the time. And choreographers know this. Sometimes you like go online and you're like, I didn't work with that school. I didn't work with that studio. It happens all the time. It hurts when it's people that have been here since the jump, that have been in private conversations because I felt safe with them, where I would speak my truth about how those situations make me feel, not just as a choreographer, but as a Black woman. And for those same people to know this information, hear my concern about that and say, don't really care. And what was told to me is maybe I should be more unique so that people don't copy me, by a person that I had worked with in that capacity. And it gets to a point where
comedic,
and when those things are said, it gets to a point where it's like, I think this bond is done. And instead of making this like a negative thing, I'm gonna leave it where it's at. And that's where I wanted to leave it a year and a half ago when this was brought up. And that is why I haven't spoken on it. I don't feel the need to speak on it. I haven't spoken to these people since, but that's why you see the way I looked on that live stream when they said Vimo first. That was a direct look to two people, and one of those people was on stage, and one of those people walked off. You could see that in the live stream, that as Vimo was celebrating,
still on YouTube.
This person walked off, could not even celebrate people that they have been in the space with, people that they have learned from, opportunities and the love that I've given to this person, and I still give love to this person. I think they're an amazing creator, and I don't take anything away from that. But the way that they and their collective have moved over the past year, that is why it was personal, and that is why that first meant so much. Because I put everything that I've wanted to say over the past year and a half into that set.
Period. I have a question for you. So Jalen competed with you guys, but Syndicate was there.
That's actually quite funny, because Kevin Nguyen, who is one of the directors of Syndicate, he did this in the set. Yes, but it's because him and Jalen are like this.
So it's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
But him and Jalen were my inspirations going from college.
Oh, that's fun.
And I remember competing against Syndicate. We would compete against each other. I'm like, I see them up here. So I had Jalen in the set. Obviously, Kevin knows. So he's like, I had to do a little Saturday. And because it was from Kevin, it's someone I respect. And I remember taking Kevin's org camp classes in like 2012, 2013. So to have someone who I've idolized like acknowledge me as a threat on a competitive stage in that way,
that is a compliment in its own.
I will hold that. I hold that for the rest of my life. I am not afraid of healthy competition. And I love knowing that we could be competitively at the same level, but at the end of the day be like, you're great.
Friend.
Or at the same time, shout out to Davin Lawson, one of my loves. And again, one of the powerhouses when it comes to now UDA with UCF. Davin is someone who I had been through this journey with, through the community, through everything that we do. And we are both extremely competitive.
Yeah.
We're not shy about that.
Yeah.
And we're not shy about that with each other. I remember the one time we competed against each other. I remember the day of, we audio messaged each other in the morning. It was like, and we do that every competition.
Yeah.
And it's usually an encouragement like, hey, go get them. You know what it is. But this time it was like, hey, I don't play for second. You better put your best out there. I'm going to put everything I have on that floor. I'll see you after awards. I love you.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah.
And to this day, it's always like that. And that fire is what I love to go on. The problem I have is when it becomes disrespectful, when it becomes trying to gossip or trying to tear down someone's name in order to make yourself feel better about the circumstance you're in. That's when I don't play.
Yeah.
But please don't think that I'm not for healthy competition. I
Yeah.
welcome it.
Yeah.
But also, if you want to be in a healthy competition, you got to be at the same level.
Absolutely.
You
You gotta
can't
compete
compare
against each other.
You can't compare where you can't compete. So that's why healthy competition also means you're at the same level. And
Yeah.
that's all I'll say.
Where will we see Vimo next?
And you know, I don't mean to foreshadow or because I know that this is like behind the scenes stuff. I told myself that I wouldn't want Vimo to compete unless it was in the pro league. And that's not to say that just because I've done it means I don't have to do it again, but I've done these community stages. I've done the bus your behind for 4 months to compete once at a high school auditorium.
Yeah.
And that's it.
The only
I wanna upgrade it. I wanna be paid for what I do. I wanna be paid for what I do. I wanna get my members paid. I want them to be protected.
Yeah.
I wanna travel and I wanna upgrade every time. But like even for me, I'm thinking if I was in the pro league, I know exactly what set I would do to compete with Brotherhood. And I know exactly
Period.
what moves I would put in there. I know exactly what I would call back from their previous HHI sets. I want to be, I want it. I want it. I
Okay.
want the opportunity.
IL, are you
to be there.
listening?
I-
You better put Vimo on that pro franchise.
I want it.
What what would it take for Vimo to get to that pro league? You guys, so when I was reading, you have to have your own studio.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest obstacle that I was told.
Now, do you have to own that studio? Can it be in collaboration with the studio?
I don't know.
It's I find the IDL information. Well, actually, I can't find it. That's the issue. But I find it very vague with what they put out, and it makes me scratch my head. But when I think about the IDL trying to position themselves as the NBA for dance, the NFL for dance, and you look at these franchises, my mind immediately goes to equal opportunity. And I could go into, it's funny because this is actually happening right now also with the cheer side. I don't know much about cheer, but I see it on Instagram. Yeah. So it's funny seeing them at the same time and seeing the differences that are happening. So IDL, I would typically think that if you're going to be on a pro franchise, there's going to be a draft, there's going to be an audition, there's going to be equal opportunity for anyone who wants to say, no, I'm a professional competitive athlete. Now, what's funny, it's happening on the cheer side. They're not doing it in different parts of the world. It's only United States, but they have like a California team, Dallas team, Florida team, whatever. And you have to audition to make these pro teams to actually go and travel and compete. So I find that a little interesting. If there was an opportunity for you to audition to be on a pro team, you would do it?
100%, without a doubt. And I saw IDL as my audition for the pro league. That's where I saw it mentally. If that was my audition, that was for me to be like, hey, the same crowd that you have watching the pro league is also standing up and cheering for me when I'm done. Do that with what you will.
Everybody was standing up.
I just need the opportunity.
Yeah.
I just need the opportunity, but I know creatively I can compete with the pro leagues. Now the business side of it.
Oh, I know you guys can too.
Right. The business side of it, maybe that's where we need a little bit more work in the branding or how to get, sponsorships or brand deals, which hasn't been my focus. It's really just been the work and who's been around me. But if that's what I need to do to get to that point, then maybe I need to shift and figure that out.
And it's interesting because without the pro leagues, do you think you would have ever came to that realization of, okay, I need to get on my P's and Q's to...
No.
Yeah.
And I would have thought there's always the maybe one day the artist is going to see me on Instagram and tell me to tour with it. That's always the wish. But this was more of a real like Pocati Sweat posted us on their Instagram after seeing us rehearse with their drinks at the venue. Do you think we could get a partnership with them? Or is that something where I should be advertising at practice? Should I have the yerba mate on the side and be like powering rehearsal? Like,
Yeah.
what are the things that I need to be doing to show these brands that I would want to work with them? Or what do I need to do to show that, yeah, I would like an opportunity like that? And that is something like I know I can't do on my own.
Yeah. So I have a
Looking
team.
for the
And you,
people that are aligned to do that with me.
and you see, I mean, you see the teams that are being franchised.
Exactly.
They have a team behind them. Like,
there are people that don't dance at all.
Yep.
They just focus on what they
Yep.
do. And that is the goal, is to have like a team of people that are so focused and intentional with what they do and their own circuit. In the same sense, like you have your like music mix. Like
Yep.
you understand you would want someone that does what they do.
Yep.
Not just someone that's like can hop on GarageBand and do a
Mm.
you want someone that
You need-
strictly
yep.
does that, and I want that for
Strictly
all of
costume,
those.
strictly
Exactly.
traveling, strict like you.
Exactly.
That's incredible. I'm gonna say it.
Give me.
You guys could have competed in that pro league and
Thank you.
taken out some. I would say top 3 if I'm being real. And I think anyone watching would probably agree too. So, I mean, I was even saying this in my IDL video that I did a few weeks ago. You could put some of these college teams against those teams and they would destroy.
Listen, not even to be, but like that umbrella set.
Okay, right? LSU.
I'm gonna need the Tigers.
They would.
And I'm not counting out WSU either because they got me as well. But these teams, that the training that they do is so focused that they should be in the pros.
Yeah.
I could argue that these college teams
They are pro. They are pro.
They are.
I was listening to a Sammy McFadden interview yesterday. And it's funny you're saying that because they had someone, I'm probably gonna get the name wrong and the agency wrong. It sounded like Misha from like Clear Talent or something like that. Went to a convention and did like a panel and was talking to all of these people. And one of the questions was seeing the value in college dance. Our agencies starting to see the value, and they are starting to look at that as if you were on that team for 4 years, you were working professionally for 4 years. So that was actually very nice to hear. I will ask, because you've been in the dance team world now, I'm going to say 3, 4,
like 2.
You're relatively
very
new. Do you think we're behind the curve a little bit?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Listen, when I see that jazz, when I see that palm, I shut that mouth because I have no grounds to be talked. But when it comes to hip hop,
let me have it. Yeah.
And as someone who also listened to the hip hop panel podcast that you've done, understanding that there are different things that judges look for, and there's also different ways that certain teams prep for these things. You can see that hip hop is an afterthought for a lot of these teams.
Absolutely.
Or you can see that hip hop is like, let me try to go viral on TikTok. That's the closest that we can get. So we're going to do it through hip hop. But are we really doing the things that we need to do to make sure that we have groove?
Yeah.
Do we have groove in the piece? Do we have moments? And as someone who also came from a gymnastics background and does use a lot of tricks and athleticism, but is there a point to it? Are we just chucking it because you didn't have this 2 8 counts choreographed, so you have someone go in the line?
Yeah.
Yes or no? And that's something that as someone who choreographs that, I can tell. You can tell, but sometimes the judges either don't care about that, or sometimes the judges are like, well, I mean, at this point, it adds to it, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Someone that benefits from tricks and having it, I love it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't think tricks are hip hop.
Yeah.
And something that I want to touch on is like the group headspring or the kip up.
I'm over it.
Like, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
But that's not hip hop. That's not like a requirement.
No.
It's a good wow moment, but I don't think wow moments are all that hip hop is.
No, I agree. I look at it like this because you could do a kip up in jazz, you could do a kip up in contemporary, you could do a kip up in palm. Okay, now I'm gonna go into like palm for a second. Palm is toe touch. Say toe touch, for example. I'm not gonna put a toe touch in a hip hop routine. It doesn't belong in the foundation of what hip hop is. The trick conversation has been one that's been being talked about, I would say, forever in hip hop, probably, especially in dance team. But for the past few years, it's been so great to see teams win major competitions and have zero usage of tricks, not one lift.
Not one.
They are giving you dance, hip hop foundation, grooves, everything we need and more. Have you been finding like any kind of struggle, like trying to get into that hip hop realm in dance team, or like find what your niche is?
Absolutely. And I think that the community is very different from UDA.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, even for my first year with WSU, I
Washington State
came at it.
University. We love.
My loves, I'll be with you very soon, and I love you. I remember the first year, I came with like I came with
Yeah,
Vimo,
yeah.
and I remember I was giving them a Kendrick Lamar set. I
Mm,
was like, I'ma go.
yeah.
First obstacle, can't even use Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, the
It's
music
got the
license.
music. So I had this white man singing this Kendrick Lamar in the back of and I said,
Very kids bop. It gives kids bop. Yeah.
so that was the first like, whoa,
Mhm.
we're at a we're at a different space. So then even with I had beat kills and all these things, and it was all really like full out and
Yeah.
aggressive. And then I watched the other UDA sets, and I was like, whoa.
Did you go in person your first year?
No.
Only
So that's why
sectional?
I looked, and there was also a difference between I wasn't there at
Yeah.
UDA and I wasn't a part of that process. So the cleaning that happened ended up taking some of that like rawness away, which is not bad because it was clean.
Mhm.
But I was like, "Oh, that's not valued as much here."
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, okay. So then this year we did Sexy Back,
Yep.
which is like
Incredible. Everyone
Babe,
loved it.
which was like,
Everyone loved
and
it.
we were like in the side. I was like doing it while they were doing it. Like it was such a fun, and like that song is a timeless
Yeah.
song. I can never get tired of
Yeah.
it. So cleaning it and doing it, I was like, play it again. And
Uh-huh.
I went a very different direction.
Yeah.
But now, and that's even going into my thoughts about my own set and watching it and being like, I think that this is hip hop, but it could also lean into jazz.
Mm.
And that is something that I saw in a lot of UDA routines, which I'm like, I don't know, like, if it means getting up in the ranks, maybe because we got higher place than we did last year significantly.
Oh, yeah.
But then the difference between it being authentically hip hop and not was very different in the way that I approached it. So going into it this year, I'm thinking like, how do I want to play into that?
Yeah.
Do I want to completely go against it, or do I want
Yeah.
to work with it? And again, somebody who I think has that perfect balance is UNLV. Andrew Elam has it. He is the
I can't even. Yeah.
Elam has it from the
He knows.
in the
He just knows.
he know
He
and
knows.
since he was in the community.
Yep.
And that's what's crazy to me is Elam is such a star,
Yep.
but he's so okay being in the back and being like, okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't need all of that.
No.
He's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Work speaks
For itself,
volumes. I
for
know
sure.
that he has a standard, and they know that.
Yep.
And you can feel it when he walks in the room. There's a standard he has from the sets that he puts his name on,
Yep.
the teams he works with, and when he walks into the building and you see UNLV, you see what they're wearing, you
Yep.
see their warm-up gear, you see like the head like gooses, like. But that is someone who I feel like has a great balance between authentically honoring hip hop
Yep.
and the groove of hip hop, and also having wow moments that leave you like, I've never seen something like that before.
That is
Hence
insane.
their set this year. I remember being in the stands being like, no question.
No. Already
No question.
won.
And if not, there'll be a riot.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Andrew and UNLV has been like one of the best collaborations of dance team to happen.
Period.
And he is also
Period.
going to be on No Counts Given soon. So
Oh my God.
keep a lookout for that. We're getting him on soon. We've been having the same
Sure. Yeah.
issue. It's like scheduling, busy, and he's
Sure.
a working person. So
Absolutely.
it happens. Let's continue into the dance team verse.
Yes.
What differences do you see with competitions in terms of scoring from like IDL to
Sure.
someone like Vibe to USASF UDA? Like what differences have you been seeing?
Yeah. Well, I think Vibe is one of the ones that I'm more familiar with because I've also judged Vibe Juniors. And I was in that meeting where they were talking about, why they judge this
Yeah.
way, the different brackets and the importance of them. And someone who I also deeply respect is Arnell Carvario. He's
Yeah.
an amazing educator, an amazing judge, one of my dear friends. And I've judged with him on various different competitions or spaces. But I remember him explaining why they judge the way that they do for Vibe, why the criteria is the way that it is,
Yeah.
and also understanding that we're trying to honor hip hop at the end of the day. And like they're so open to questions about it. They're open to like the question of like what is appropriation and what is not. You know, what is our job and role as a judge to then shape that next generation. And actually, hot take.
Okay, I love a good
I
hot take.
actually disagree with the judges that were on your podcast talking about music. As someone who has judged a lot of these competitions, and most of these competitions being that an adult or a coach is deciding most of the things and the kids have no say, right? And that was a topic that was brought up. The kids don't have a say, so why should they be punished?
Yeah.
But if you don't check it, then it's going to continue to happen. And I think that the role of a judge is to be that person, not necessarily be like, I'm docking 10 points because I don't like it.
This is one reason why I don't judge, because I'm not just there to give you an 80.99. I'm there to educate you, and you're not going to let me educate you if you're a costume. You're competing in a jazz division, but you're wearing a lyrical costume. You need to not wear tights this way. You need to give that black girl some tan shoes. Like there has to be someone that's out there talking about these things and commenting on them. You can't do that in dance team. Do you want to get more involved in the dance team realm, or do you like the small circle of teams that you have right now? Because you did AZ Aces.
Yes.
I believe you did CN. Maybe I could be wrong.
I did. Well, I guess it's in a different, it's like the high school version. I did Seton High School.
Yeah.
And I have other teams that I'm doing now this upcoming season. So I guess
I love that.
To answer that question, like I am kind of doing that. And I really do think Sexy Back kind of went platinum in some people's houses.
Went platinum.
We're like, hey girl, like how do we get some of that? So I'm kind of like diving into it as long as there's no conflict.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't do same division, and that, you know, and not gonna choose that.
Yep.
But in terms of like maybe different divisions or maybe different types of comps, like I'm opening to that now.
Just really quick, how long has it been? 30? Oh, 3? I was like, oh, it is. What time is it right now? 4. Oh, shoot. I got 13 more minutes in this space. Well, then, looking back at everything from VMO to LFG to your individual work, how would you want to leave your legacy?
Well, I do think my legacy kind of goes into my purpose, which I think my purpose, especially as an educator and a teacher and as a director, that's really the hats that I've been in. My purpose is to believe in others before they believe in themselves. I'm that last stepping stone before they're like, wait, I actually can. And I'm that person that gives them that unwavering belief even when they can't see it. So because of that, as a director, I've been in that space where I have created a legacy, where I've created other leaders. I've also created other people that have realized like, wait, if I can do that or I can access that, then I can help other people access that. So I feel like that in terms of my purpose is what I leave as a legacy for those members that have experienced my space or my light before, and they carry that with them into their own spaces. And then in terms of maybe a legacy in the dance realm, open the doors first before you get the opportunity to walk through them. How many times have I fought to be at the seat of a table of people that didn't even want me to be there? So I'm actually going to have to build the table myself and then work from there. And I think throughout my entire career, whether I was conscious of it or not, I was always the one to open the door for myself and be like, you know what, I can do it. And I'm not going to wait for someone to hand that to me. I'm going to curate it. Even if it doesn't get a lot of views, even if people are not behind me for the first half of the journey, I'm going to open that door. I'm going to open that door. And it doesn't matter if I do it politely. I'm going to kick it. I'm going to open that door.
That door is getting knocked down.
That door is locked. So I feel like that's the legacy I leave. Like, be okay opening the doors that you want. Don't wait for someone to open it for you. And if it doesn't open, then it's not meant for you. So you have to be the one to see that first, instead of somebody being like, is this a door that you want to open? Be like, no, that's a door that I want to open. I would open it. And if it doesn't open, you figure out why, you try all the things. And if it doesn't serve you, you got to walk away. In every facet of my life, that has been my journey. So I guess that's the legacy that I leave.
I love that. And where can we find you? TikTok, Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram, Danyel Moulton, DanyelMoulton.
Period.
I do not have an X or a Twitter.
That's fine. That's not my scape either.
That's not going to be on my phone.
Far away.
And TikTok, I think my username is Mieko6117. Mieko
You know what?
6117.
You are right. I remember reading that.
Yeah,
That was like,
and like it
I was
definitely
like,
was not
Danielle, someone's trying to participate here.
you. Like you need to report and block that. But it was definitely like TikTok. I made it in like 2020. That was supposed to be like whoop whoop, whoop
Yeah.
And then I remember posting something from Vibe and it going viral and being like, oh, wait. So then now I just turned it to like, oh, maybe this can go somewhere.
Yeah.
But
There's power in TikTok. I would not be right here right now if it wasn't for TikTok. I'm just gonna say that right there. Well, thank you for coming on, Danielle. I look forward to seeing more Danielle work in the dance team space. I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Of course. Crazy.